Okay, we're just going to have a look at marker rendering, an introduction to what sort of equipment and materials you might use. So one of the things is some masking tape, where you might choose to mask off an area so that you can just keep your marker work nice and neat. So that's one handy tool. Secondly, we're using the Copic markers. They're a double-ended marker. You have a narrow end, which is great just for very thin lines, and on the other side you have a chisel tip, and depending on how you angle that on the paper will depend on whether you get a thick line like this, or you could use the tip like this for a medium thickness, or you can just use it on a slight angle. So you could experiment with how to hold that and get different thicknesses. So that's the Copic marker. Obviously, if you have a large area like this one here, you might mask it with some masking tape and fill it in with the chisel tip. If you have a large area like this one, you can see that this has been rendered using some pastels, which are a dry pastel like these polychromos. You might choose your colour. With a blade, you would scrape the pastel dust onto some paper, and with a makeup pad, you would pick it up with that and then go over your drawing and apply the pastel like that. If you have a look at this drawing, another useful tool might be an eraser, where you actually erase some of that paper, the pastel dust, to create a reflection. Reflection and highlights are really important. First of all, you might use a set square to outline your drawing with maybe a sign pen like this one, or a Sharpie. And you would go around the outline with your ruler. Be careful, you might need to put your ruler upside down to have a little air gap so you don't smudge your work. The other tools you might use are a black pencil. This one is a Schwarz Black. If you have a look at this area, here's an example where the black pencil is used, or the button here. Black and white pencils are used for highlights and shadows, really making the object look 3D. So in this section here, you've got a black outline, a white outline, just to create three-dimensional. Same with the lines over here. Lastly, on your drawing, you might use a white Posca. That's really to add little white highlights. So you can see the little white dots here created just to create real highlights and that little icing on the cake, just finishing your drawing to make it look really sharp and interesting. So these are the tools that you need to be acquainted with when you're doing some marker rendering.